Very well. There's no other business and no comments or questions regarding any other business. Therefore, at this time, brothers and sisters, I will proceed to conclude this annual general meeting. As you all know, this will be my final AGM. We're concluding our term. Our 3-year term is now coming to an end. And it was tough writing this speech. You know, it's been quite a few years. It's a bit of joy and a bit of sadness. Joy because of the achievements and the changes, the difference, the impact we were able to make in the community and the wider society. Joy because of all the friendships, the members who came forward with their ideas, with their comments, their sincerity, their love for the community is wonderful. And it really drives you to have that in a community like ours. At the same time, sadness, you know, it's tough. We've been doing this for 3 years. We've put a lot of time and effort and energy into this. And there are certainly things we wish we could have done. We had a very bold agenda. We had a lot of things we wanted to achieve. And while I do realize that we didn't get to all of them, I also recognize the fact that if we did achieve everything, then we would have set the standard and the expectations too low. To me, success is not about getting everything checked off the box on the list. It's how well you do the work and how far you can go given the resources and time you have. So I want to also mention that you know, now is the time for us to be thankful that we made it through these 3 years. The community has moved forward. We're blessed to have so much. The members have come forward to help and do the work. And we're thankful for what we were able to do. And at the same time, I'm hopeful for what can be done moving forward. And now that we'll be exiting our term in this office, it's also time for us to think about how we can continue to give back to the community. Because I believe that when you finish your term, it's not the end. You're just on this journey to continue doing more work. And while it may not be in an elected position officially, this community is in our hearts and we'll continue to serve in whatever way we truly can. And our community is growing, and we see and we continue to mature as a community in many ways. We struggle in some ways, but we see light at the end of the tunnel for many other ways. And we must realize that what makes us such a wonderful community is not only the emphasis we place in preserving our culture and wonderful traditions, but rather that we are fortunate to have a sense of immunity from many of the ills of society. And this, I believe, is truly a reflection of our belief in our faith, and specifically the love we hold for the Ahlul-bayt. And along with this blessing comes the great responsibility that as we as brothers and sisters and believing men and women need to continue to serve humanity, not just our community, but humanity and the society at large. And as I look back over the last few years, I'm amazed at how many relationships we've built within the Central Florida community. These include local law enforcement, county and state officials, faith leaders, and many other organizations who have come to witness our version of Islam, the beautiful religion that we have, and see us and see Islam in true action. And it's my hope that we will continue to see the community advance even further as the next committee comes on board, that we as an institution will continue to welcome both new ideas as well as open our doors to those of other faiths and share this wonderful and beautiful religion we have to offer. However, I would be remiss if I didn't state some of my thoughts and reflections as I leave this chair. And my brothers and sisters, I've seen a lot in the last few years. We've been through a lot as a community. And I do believe that now more than ever, we must be cognizant of the importance of electing the right leaders. That we as a community, my brothers and sisters, have changed, and times have changed. And that in order to remain relevant in today's world, we must seek to elect men and women not only on the basis of whether they are qualified and capable. And no one can question the sincerity of any individual. That's not what I'm saying. No one can judge or has a right to judge anyone based on this criteria. But rather I ask, what we should expect from those we put in places of position of leadership is that we uphold those high standards, the standards that we've been taught by the Holy Prophet and his immaculate progeny. That we uphold those standards both in terms of conduct as well as character. that when our actions and behaviors at the mosque contradict our actions outside, then we need to seriously think about whether that is the example we want to set for our children. And we must select those in positions of leadership who can serve as exemplary role models for our children. That should be our criteria and basis. There's no substitute, in my opinion, for choosing someone on the basis of what we believe in, which is sound Islamic principles and good akhlaq. Whether a person has wealth, popularity, or influence in various social circles should not be the criteria for these positions. And I want to state emphatically, please don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. I'm not in any way excluding myself from this criteria. And I look and I turn to myself first and foremost. No one is perfect. We all have our shortcomings. But let's not be complacent as we move forward as a community and fill positions just for the sake of putting someone in a seat. That is a disservice to the community, and to me, a disservice to the imam of our time as well. Rather than that, let us strive to higher standards and raise that bar so that our children should be even better than us and see that the standards we set are their baseline, not their goal. And this will raise children, I believe, to a whole nother level. So please consider this my humble request to each and every one of you as a call to action. We all have busy lives. We have so many other commitments in our life going on right now. Many of you, of course, have so much going on, whether it's work or school or family, business, whatever it may be. And I'm sure you all have goals and aspirations in life, and serving the community ends up at the back of the list. We'll get to it later, when I'm free, when I'm retired, when I have time. That's when I'll get to that, serving the community part on my bucket list. But if there's one piece of advice that I can share, and I've been through quite a bit, so I feel that I'm qualified to share some advice, it would be this, that no matter what you do, whether it's serving the community or anything else, put your trust in Allah. Wholeheartedly, don't flinch, don't go in halfway. When you want to do something, do it and rely on Allah, because I tell you, I have seen this, I have crossed some very challenging times, and nothing has held me more together and resolved, knowing that the only one that can help me is Allah. So don't be afraid. Many of you want to do the work. We have 5 open nominations for managing committee members, 1 open trustee, in a community of 1,500 people. Let's say 200 of the members here are eligible to take these positions. Where is everybody? What's holding us back as a community? So make that intention and make that sincere intention that you're going to do Allah's work, and you put your trust in Him. And I have witnessed myself countless times in my own life and under many difficult circumstances how empowering it is when you make Allah the disposer of your affairs. The outcome will always be good. And that is what Allah promises you and me. It's not my promise to you. There will be challenges, there will be struggles all along the way, but be certain that no matter what happens, He will make you successful. So for those of you who are considering stepping forward to serve in an elected position, have confidence, be firm in your faith, and Allah will take care of you, your family, your business, whatever it is that you're worried about. Because when you do Allah's work, He does your work. There's no question about that. And then watch what happens in your life, my friends. Beautiful things will come to your life in every way. If you put your trust in Allah and go forward, I assure you, things will be good. Because Allah is very generous, and He never disappoints the one who places hope in Him. So I urge you, look in your heart, ask yourself, search for your purpose, what is your potential, and go and realize it. You all have the will, now make the resolve to take that first step. And I have no doubt Allah will open the right doors for you. Over the past 3 years, I've had the privilege of working alongside 6 truly selfless individuals. These are the members of our wonderful managing committee. And I want to take a moment to thank each of you for your dedication, for your service to the community, and for putting up with all my difficult demands at times, and I'm sure many of my far-fetched ideas. Zahir Bhai, thank you for your wisdom and guidance throughout the ways. I certainly have looked up to you as a mentor. You've been there, you've guided me, and you've shown me things and decisions that you've helped me make, and I thank you for that. Siddiqa Bhai, for your resolve and tenacity. Through all the changes we've made, through all the difficult moments, you've kept it together. You've held the entire ladies' side together, and it's a miracle how you do it. But thank you, and really we appreciate all that you've done, and I'm sure the community appreciates all that you've done as well. To my Trusted Secretary, Mr. and Brother Imran Pir Muhammad, for staying on top of all the administrative affairs and keeping us on task with the minutes and the to-do lists that seem to never end. Thank you for taking care of that. Brother Imran Lakha, who unfortunately is not well and couldn't be here, for helping us with the finances, managing the finances, and especially as we transitioned to this mosque. It was a lot of work. And our Director of Education, Brother Muhammad, for your leadership in steering the community and the Board of Education and charting a course towards enhancing how our children learn. Did I forget anybody? Oh, I'm sorry. Last but not least, the one and only Brother Suhail Jusab. You know, I tried to think of what to say. So all I can say is I think you've dealt with more operational challenges over the past year, at least that's what you've told me, than what I understood, more so than in the past few years than I'm told NASA did while trying to get a man on the moon. I don't know how true that is, but I can imagine the load on your shoulders that you've had to carry, and we thank you, Brother Suhail. You all are truly A players in my book, and I thank Allah for having given me the opportunity to serve the community alongside each one of you. My thanks to the trustees for their ongoing advice and guidance over the years, and especially over these past 12 months, which have been full of meetings and phone calls and text messages and what else? Emails, I think. Was there any other form of communication we had? No, I think we covered everything. Alhamdulillah, our efforts came to fruition the day before yesterday on Friday night as the community came forward and we concluded the SGM with a unanimous general body approval to move forward with the trust declaration. And of course, I want to acknowledge the support of the entire community, each and every one of you who have been through with us lots of new ideas, changes, challenges. So many of you have played a role actively in moving the community forward, helping us through our term and helping us turn our vision into reality. It has truly been humbling for me to work with such amazing individuals from young to old. And we are blessed to have such a vibrant and hardworking community. So I ask you to please join me in thanking all of those who serve on subcommittees, all of our volunteers, all of those who don't want to be named or wish not to be named and just do the work. Let us take a moment and recognize everyone and thank them with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And I also want to take just a moment to express my thanks to a few very special individuals that I want to mention, because sometimes we take these individuals for granted. They get things done, but sometimes they feel they get things done because we expect them to do the work, not realizing how frequently they often go above and beyond what is asked of or required, and sometimes even at their own expense, to serve the needs of the community members. I'd like to thank Ghulam Bhai, our caretaker, who has been truly fantastic. You know, words cannot express the gratitude that we have as a managing committee for what he does. Many of you see him, but you don't know all the work that goes on behind the scenes. It's not just opening and closing the mosque. He comes here, he helps, in addition to cleaning, in addition to prep. He's here whenever we have visits, whenever we have meetings, whenever we have any need, he's available to us. Anytime, sometimes in a moment's notice, someone's coming here to do a repair or a fix or an inspection, and he'll come here from home, unplanned. And he's truly a gem of an individual, and I want to say thank you to him for all that he's done for the community, and especially during our term. Brother Sibtain, Yusuf Ali, many of you know him as the check collector, but he's done a lot more than collecting checks, and the workload has just quadrupled for him. Yet he was very, very committed to helping us through this term. Despite us putting an advertisement out there for a bookkeeper, he stayed on board, and we really, truly thank you, Brother Sibtain. We could not have managed the finances without you. So thank you so much for all that you've done. And lastly, I wanted to also, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And lastly, I want to thank Sheikh Mujtaba for guiding our community and sharing his knowledge, for leading both our prayers and being a spiritual guide to all of us. Thank you as well. In the last couple of minutes I have, brothers and sisters, I want to give a special thanks to my family. It's been a lot, and I couldn't have done this without them. So I just want to say thank you. You know, my mom is here. I want to say thank you. My dad is here. Thank you to them as well. Unfortunately, my wife is not here because she's taking care of our 4 kids at home. But, you know, brothers and sisters, when you make a commitment to serve the community, it's not an individual commitment, it's a family commitment. And truly from the bottom of my heart, Mom and Dad, thank you for all you've done, especially my mom. She's prayed for me so much. And my success today undoubtedly comes from her prayers. So I thank you, and may Allah grant you a long, healthy life, and Dad, you too. And again, thanks to my wife and children for all they've done. But it's time for me to move on. I look forward to working with the incoming managing committee. There's a lot that we have yet to do. We look forward to supporting you in your new roles, whoever that may be. I hope the community is supportive of them as well. And as we conclude, let us make a short dua. Let us raise our hands and ask Allah, O Allah, we seek your blessings, bihaqqi Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, upon all the believers, the mu'mineen who are here today. And O Allah, make our community a beacon of light for others to benefit from. And let us always remain united under the banner of Imam Mahdi. Ilahi Ameen. With that, my brothers and sisters, we'll conclude the AGM. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The election meeting will commence after the namaz prayers.
Great job, man. Thank you.